This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. I am Jane Abosonko. Thank you for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. President Adama Barrow presided over the opening of the National Youth Conference and Festival NACOF, which kicked off in Banjul on Friday. The Electronic Birth Registration and National Health Insurance Scheme campaign was launched in Basse URR by the Ministry of Health. The YALEF initiative, in collaboration with the Women's Association for Victims Empowerment, WAVE, launched its first project with 2 days capacity building training for victims of human rights violations in the Gambia. In international news, the 2022 second ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament has ended in Abuja, Nigeria, with parliamentarians calling on countries in the region which will be going to the polls in 2023 to ensure peaceful and credible elections. And in sports news, One Love FC have been crowned champions of a community football tournament staged to unite the people of Njai Kunda in Nyamina East. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Basonko. Now, the Electronic Birth Registration and National Health Insurance Scheme campaign was launched in Basse in URR by the Ministry of Health. Our reporter Alaji A.F. Jallo attended the ceremony and fastened this report.
The regional launch of the Electronic Birth Certificate and National Health Insurance Scheme in URR followed the national launch by the government through the Ministry of Health in August this year, presided over by President Adama Barrow. The registration process in URR will last 20 days, during which people of the region will have to visit the registration centers to secure these important national documents. Ibrahim Balde, the regional health director, said the scheme is the vehicle through which the government intends to meet the universal health care goals of ensuring that the people have access to health service.
The government of the Gambia continues to make strides in the advancement of universal health coverage with the enactment of the National Health Insurance Scheme Act of 2021. The National Health Insurance Scheme is the vehicle through which the government intends to meet the universal health coverage goal of ensuring that all people in the Gambia have access to health services they need, when and where they need them, without financial hardship.
Sambaba, the governor of URR, said his office will be monitoring the exercise to see that all of those people entitled to benefit from the services are registered and no one is discriminated against during the exercise.
Government of the Gambia, through His Excellency, came up with this scheme in order to alleviate some of the problems that people have been facing during that particular period. Having said that, I want to make it clear to my chiefs and alcalos to make sure that they stand firm in trying to make sure that every individual who is supposed to get this national registration gets it, and those that you know they are not referred as citizens of this Gambia, but they are entitled to get the birth certificates also do so. This is what is important. We need to make sure that there is nobody in URR who is deprived the right to get this birth certificate when you definitely should get it. I once again call on those who are going to issue this birth certificate to understand that URR is here to make sure that everybody gets whatever the person is supposed to get as far as the birth registration is concerned.
To register, applicants must provide original copies of one of the following documents: child infant welfare cards, antenatal cards, birth certificate, identity cards, passports, death certificate of parents, and attestation. For QTV News, I am Alaji F. Jallo.
It's good to see the campaign filter down to rural Gambia. Now, the YELF initiative, in collaboration with the Women's Association for Victims Empowerment, WAVE, launched its first project on Friday with 2 days capacity building training for victims of human rights violations in the Gambia. Lena E. Igwenyiba was there and she fastened us reports.
The training for victims of human rights violations will be on managing victims' expectations of the government's white paper, on the recommendations of the TRRC's report. Aissatou Jammeh, project coordinator of YELF initiative, explains the objectives of the project.
We want to centralize the capacity buildings. We want to take them to the regions because they're victims around the Gambia, and then not just victims that live here should benefit from our project.
YELF also seeks to equip victims with the knowledge and confidence they need to participate effectively in conversations regarding their rights. Mahmoud Silla, a victim, thanked YELF for the initiative, stating that the capacity building training will be of great benefit to victims of human rights violations.
We want to thank you people for organizing this kind of forum, which is going to enable also us, we the victim also, to be able to effectively participate in any debate or maybe argument that is coming in the future.
Saliu Tal, president of the Gambia Bar Association, discussed the importance of enhancing victim involvement in the transitional justice process.
Many times, victims may not be able to fully grasp those topics when they are the most important people in the room. So I believe it is really important to ensure that, quote-unquote, the so-called experts who really exist to assist the process and the main beneficiary of the process are victims. The experts should ensure that victims understand what is going on.
Priscilla Yagusise, a senior technical advisor with the Women's Association for Victims Empowerment, WAVE, explains the expected outcomes of this project.
We'll be able to engage with a wider cross-section of victims. You know, sometimes, as often happens, you have just the same faces in different places. But this would also contribute to having more victims who are spread across the country, because there would be regional engagement as well, so that we could take it to them. And you want ownership.
The project aims to improve the understanding of transitional justice mechanisms by victims of human rights violations, so they can also be part of the discussions and advocacy effort regarding the implementation, process and the post-TRRC period. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Igwenyiba.
From that story, we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some local, international and sports news. Do stay tuned.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system, reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Inco Home Choice ya kenun ne serung adiate la kiliano le ninang fanay nata kotenke aning 10% discount hade 10% discount ye inco la bagaso bagasang Gambia banko kanjang na dinkral beto kabo December karo tilifolo kata fo December fadula ye construction bagaso sotalienne generator welding tools aluminium tools carpentry tools water pumps electrical tools plumbing tools safety equipment kata fo pususol washing machines aning garden tools nyinnim bagasi jama albe sola la menna pour ka do ko kala watali bari kataba kalita Inco Home Choice jibe ibale Jimpex wala liye ko man ni nombato 7398863 wala Birkama 3039300 wala Senegambia 3296967 wala Fani Sukota ni nombato 3417619 Inco Home Choice nyulna tele pour ka jamano dahandi.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Basonko. Now we take you to our first headline as President Adama Barrow presided over the Gambia's biannual National Youth Conference and Festival NACOF, kicked off in Banjul on Friday, gathering an estimated 2,000 youths from across the country's 7 regions. The NACOF is the largest youth convergence in the Gambia, featuring a series of activities and discussions on burning issues affecting the youth to find solutions. Mohamed Lamin Choi was there and he fastened his report.
The 13th edition of the National Youth Conference and Festival kicks off in Banjul with a grand official opening ceremony. In attendance are senior government officials, Gambia's development partners, the Banjul City Council and Kanifing Municipal Council mayors, and an estimated over 2,000 youth from across the 7 regions in the Gambia. Usman Fati is the chairperson of the National Youth Council.
We look forward to having an interesting discussion that will form the basis of resolutions. Be rest assured that as the chairman of National Youth Council, I will work together with my team to make sure that these resolutions are implemented by the stakeholders.
The youth constitute 70% of the Gambia's population, 41% of whom are unemployed. Pushed by the socio-economic and political conditions in the country, over 35 Gambians, mainly youth, took to the perilous journey of illegal or irregular migration, locally called the Bagway, between 2014 to 2018, according to the International Organization for Migration. Such a revealing demographic statistic about Gambian youth tells of the need for national dialogue like NACOF to help reverse the trend. Rohi Malik Law is the Banjul mayor.
We cannot claim ignorance of the fact that our youth embark on the risky journey to Europe, whereby most of them die in the process. We are first of all not as many as citizens of our dear country, and we cannot afford to lose our citizens. To me, this is unacceptable.
The NACOF is organized through the National Youth Council with support from the government. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Bakri Waibaji, reports at the youth gathering the government's policies and programs for the socio-economic advancement of young people.
Guests, just a few weeks ago, His Excellency President Adama Barrow launched the Gambia's employment policy, which has targeted to create 150 employment opportunities for young people of this country in the next 5 years. This is to make sure that there is sustainability in the work done already.
According to the chairperson of the National Youth Council, this year's NACOF has received unprecedented support from government. Funds allocated to the NACOF budget by government is reported to have tripled to $8.5 million. On top of that, President Adama Barrow has made a personal donation of $620,000. QCell is also one of the sponsors of this year's NACOF, donating $100,000 cash. President Adama Barrow has emphasized the critical role of the young people in peace building and national development.
There cannot be any peace anywhere without the absolute cooperation of the youth. So I advise all young persons and citizens in the country to remain peaceful and law-abiding and defend or claim their rights in a civil and democratic manner. The government will continue to provide the enabling environment for Gambian youth to succeed in the country without the need to embark on dangerous journeys.
The week-long gathering will feature a conference and festivals with a series of activities such as competitions in pitching, wrestling, football, basketball, volleyball, debating, a cultural display, public speaking, and more. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Looking forward to the resolutions from the NACOF. Now, in commemoration of International Migrants Day, GIZ, ECOWAS, in collaboration with the National Youth Council, the Gambia, migrant returnees and partners held a national stakeholders dialogue on migration on Friday on the theme Rethinking Migration, Sustainable Opportunities and Reintegration. Usman Chidabo has more.
The three-day forum will serve as a platform for stakeholders, government agencies, youth and migrant returnees to discuss issues related to migration, its challenges, and how to remedy the situation and create employment opportunities for the youth and to avoid embarking on the so-called backway journey. The theme for this year is Rethinking Migration, Sustainable Opportunities and Reintegration, aims to bring lasting employment and migration opportunities in a healthy and conducive manner. Miata Lily French, resident representative for ECOWAS mission in the Gambia, highlights the role of ECOWAS in addressing the challenges of irregular migration in the ECOWAS sub-region.
One of the initial policy documents formulated by ECOWAS in 1979 was the Protocol on Free Movement of Persons, Residents, and the establishment of the overarching objective of facilitating the uninterrupted movements of citizens within West Africa and to promote successful regional economic integration.
Madam French also reveals that migration needs collective actions instead of just collective attention, which can be something meaningful for the migrants.
The Gambia Pilot Project is part of the Regional Stabilization Fund. The overall objective is to contribute to the stability and sustainable development of the Gambia through the creation of new income-generating opportunities and employment, especially for the young people.
The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Employment and Regional Integration has a key role in the reintegration of the migrant returnees and job creation opportunities for the youth. Faba Jame, representative from the Ministry of Trade, commends GIZ, ECOWAS and their partners for the support given to the youth.
Since the presence of the GIZ ECOWAS in the country, significant progress has been registered by the project in various interventions ranging from skill training, entrepreneurship training, reintegration of returnees, financial assistance through partners, among others, with the ambition to curb unemployment and to provide alternative for the growing youth and women population.
Fatou Baji, a survivor of human trafficking, speaks on behalf of the migrant returnees.
What are we achieving each year we're celebrating? What are the things we should add? And what are the things that are lacking behind? Migrants has went through a lot. But what are the opportunities put in place for these migrants to reintegrate themselves back to the society? It's not about giving them money or reintegrating, it's about creating jobs for others.
Gabriel Bona, Charge d'Affaires, German Embassy to the Gambia, reveals our government's intention of continuing to support Gambia government in key areas such as youth employment, revitalization of fisheries sector, and horticultural development in minimizing irregular migration.
And there is a specific focus on youth empowerment through agribusiness, especially agribusiness value chains for the development in the poultry, fisheries, and horticultural sectors, because we think, and we have been told by our Gambian friends, that these three sectors have the greatest potential for employment creation, especially for young people.
The three-day event is a platform for returnees to have access to service providers to better understand their plight and look for ways to be reintegrated into the society. For QTV News, Osman G. Dabo.
From that story by Osman G. Dabo, let's take a look at news beyond our borders. The 2022 second ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament has ended in Abuja, Nigeria, with parliamentarians calling on Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone and other countries in the region who will be going to the polls in 2023 to ensure peaceful and credible elections. Aliu Sise reports from Abuja.
Speaking at closing day marking the end of the 3-week session in Abuja, the first Deputy Speaker of the Community Parliament, Idris Ahmed Wase, called on the political actors to promote the spirit of sportsmanship and love to ensure violence-free polls. He urged those going into election never to allow the need to make choices tear their country apart. Rather, the choices they make should strengthen their love.
We must remember that peace and stability is paramount for the well-being of our community. We must never allow the need to make choices tear us apart. Rather, the choice we make should strengthen our love and brotherliness. To this end, we at the ECOWAS Parliament will watch, pray, and wish that this election will be peaceful and successful. As I officially declare this session closed, I wish to thank the Secretary General, directors, and staff of the ECOWAS Parliament who continue to render selfless service to this Parliament. Also, I extend my appreciation to the ad hoc staff as well as our service providers for making this session successfully.
Going through the Parliament's reports and submissions, Honorable Wase, who is also the Deputy Speaker of the Nigeria Parliament, believes the Parliament still have a lot to do to bring comfort to the people it serves. He therefore implored them to get ready for another year of rigorous tasks and commitment to the community.
Let me draw your attention to the fact that each year comes with its own blessings, challenges, and uncertainties. We must therefore stand on the side of hope that this year, 2023, will usher in the best for us in our moments of stock-taking and deep, sober reflection. Let us all, while pondering on our achievements and inadequacies, draw up new and dynamic ideas toward the tasks that we will be faced with in 2023. There is no better time than now to brace up in the readiness to work for a better future for our people, regardless of our political upheavals, economic instability, humanitarian and environmental disasters that have bedeviled the sub-region. I am confident that we have the capacity to face the challenge, to face our challenges and make the best of them to drive us into growth and development. Let us always remember that we are always able.
Over the past 3 weeks, ECOWAS parliamentarians have adopted several reports from the meetings of the institution and the issuance of favorable opinions on draft text submitted by the ECOWAS Commission, including the 2023 budget. As members prepare to return to their respective national assemblies with a renewed commitment to serve the interests of the people, they look forward to the effective implementation of the outcome of the session to promote peace, security, and development. Reporting for QTV News from Abuja, Nigeria, I am Aliou Cissé.
From that story, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. A community football tournament staged to unite the people of Njaikunda in the Nyamena East constituency reached an exciting end, with One Love FC being crowned champions. Momodu Gajaga has more.
One Love FC defeated Scorpions FC 2-1 in the final of the Njaikunda in the Nyamena East constituency to be crowned champions of the community football tournament. Aliou Cissé scored a superb long-range free kick before Alhaji Malik Sarr doubled the lead with a tap-in. Scorpions FC reduced the deficit through an Abdoulaye Jallo spectacular free kick, which flew into the top corner with accuracy and power. The goal proved to be only a consolation as One Love FC held on for the victory. Alhaji Cissé was awarded man of the match after his outstanding performance. It was a moment of joy for the young talented footballer. I am very happy to get the Man of the Match award. This is the first time I played in such a competition. That is why I gave my best. Omar Cissé, former National Assembly member for Nyamena East constituency, says he sponsored the tournament to promote unity in the community.
Well, it is a successful one because since the start to now, we have not registered any problem out of it. We have not registered anything that one will say we have to stop the program or the tournament. But all that we have encountered or that we have seen through, it is all about progress and success. And you can see people from different villages, people from different tribes, people from different political parties attended this program, which I believe definitely will help in the future. And this is something that I hope will continue for many more years to come.
Momodu Gajaga, QTV News.
News bulletin. Let's recap our main headlines. Now, the President Adama Barrow has presided over the opening of the National Youth Conference and Festival, NACOF, which kicked off in Banjul on Friday. The electronic birth registration and National Health Insurance Scheme campaign was launched in Basse URR by the Ministry of Health. The YELEF initiative, in collaboration with the Women's Association for Victims Empowerment WAVE, launched its first project with 2 days capacity building training for victims of human rights violations in the Gambia. And in international news, the 2022 ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament has ended in Abuja, Nigeria, with parliamentarians calling on countries in the region which will be going to the polls in 2023 to ensure peaceful and credible elections. And in sports news, One Love FC have been crowned champions of a community tournament staged to unite the people of Njaikunda in Nyamina East. That is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us tomorrow for the weekend review. Thank you so much.